So there are intergalactic cuisines, morphing snacks, and restaurants where you feel like you deserve an apology when it's all said and done. Eating at Disney World might not be as straightforward as you think. In fact, we think Disney's got some major explaining to do when it comes to many of these offerings. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and I'm here to start explaining some rather interesting Disney World foods and experiences that we're still trying to wrap our heads around ourselves. Some of these foods we adore, some of them we don't, and some of them, it depends on the day. But the main goal of this video is to show you just how eccentric Disney World food can be and stress the importance of familiarizing yourself with all the different offerings before your big trip so you don't trip up. I think the best place to start in our conversation today is in space. Don't you agree? When you arrive on the planet of Batuu in Disney's Hollywood Studios, although you're in space, you're not really in Hollywood Studios, right? You got a few food and snack and drink options to choose from, but I hate to break it to you, the Batuuans don't know what a pepperoni pizza is, or mozzarella sticks, or even a regular old corn dog. Instead, you're gonna have your choice of several different items that sound just as strange as the ones before. You see in snacky items like Ronto wraps, fried Chicken Tip Yip, Batuuan beef and crispy potato stir fry, and the oh-so-vague sounding Batuu bits. Now, drinks aren't any less intergalactic sounding. Moof Juice, maybe, or fuzzy tauntaun. Even average sodas are referred to as thermal detonators at drink kiosks. And water bottles have the Dasani name written in the Arabash language across the front. For the most part, even if the name of a food or drink sounds weird, it's still going to be fairly straightforward stuff, though. So let's do some decoding real quick. Ronto wraps from Ronto Roasters are basically roasted pork and grilled pork sausage tucked away in a pita. The tangy tastes in addition to that come from the slaw and the peppercorn sauce, which is really, really good. Fried Chicken Tip Yip from Docking Bay 7. Let's take the tip yip out of the equation, and what's left over is actually what you got, fried chicken. Same thing applies for the Batuuan beef and crispy potato stir fry. It's a beef stir fry with mixed veggies. Now, we're actually lucky because when Batuu first opened, you didn't have any of the obvious words in there. It was just fried tip yip. It wasn't fried chicken tip yip. So they actually had to change it a little bit to get something in there that people could understand. Anyway, moving on. Batuu bits from Oga's Cantina. Well, they can still be puzzling. Even in the description, this little snack option is explained simply as crispy galaxy snack bits. But there's really not much to them. They're like veggie chips with a few crunchy meringue bites thrown in the mix to shake up the flavors. Fortunately, the drinks in Batuu aren't vague about what they've got mixed in them. The non-alcoholic Moof Juice from Docking Bay 7 is just a fruit punch, orange juice and pineapple juice with some added chipotle pineapple to give it a nice kick. And the fuzzy tauntaun is, at its most basic description, an alcoholic cocktail with vodka, peach schnapps, and orange juice. It's basically a fuzzy navel. The really bizarre part about this cocktail, however, is the buzz button foam on top, which makes your tongue and lips slightly tingle after you drink it. All the different menus for Galaxy's Edge are available on the Disney World website, so you can study up on the items and what they're made of ahead of time. But if you're ever confused or concerned about what a food or beverage is, just ask one of the Galaxy's Edge cast members behind the counter. They can help clear things up, though they may poke fun at you while they do it. And if you ask about the popping pearls in your Jabba juice, they'll let you know that they're actually wart eggs made fresh daily by the weird bug-eyed creature you'll see in the tank above the bar. So your mileage may vary. But also, we've got reviews of all the restaurants at Galaxy's Edge on our website, so if you really want to know what things look like or get a good explanation of what they really taste like, head over to our website and look up any restaurant in Galaxy's Edge and you'll find reviews from us. Now, this next item on our list may seem really normal compared to wart eggs, but believe me, once I get into it, you'll see why our feelings toward this next thing can be complicated. We're going to talk about popcorn buckets. That's it. That's the tweet. Popcorn buckets continue to blow my mind. In short, a popcorn bucket is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bucket made for popcorn. And with this bucket, you can get cheap popcorn refills at participating snack kiosks during your trip. Now, popcorn buckets come in several different designs, but some of these designs have that dangerous title attached to them. The title being exclusive or limited edition, and that's when things get wild. You see, specialty popcorn buckets sell like hotcakes. Well, at least some of them do. In the case of the infamous Figment popcorn bucket fiasco of 2022, we saw a line for these buckets that wrapped around Epcot and at its peak was 6 hours long. Not only that, after these buckets sold out, several were immediately put up on eBay eBay and were selling for hundreds of dollars with people actually buying them. So why is this happening? Why are we seeing massive lines for popcorn buckets that accomplish the exact same thing as other popcorn buckets that are available all year long? Well, 3 reasons. As soon as we hear the phrase "for a limited time only," merchandise becomes more than something you own. It's now a game. And if you're able to be one of the lucky few who actually gets the chance to purchase said exclusive item, then you, in a sense, are a winner. That's why Disney loves putting out these while supplies last items. They create that urgency for consumers. Reason 2, we're in a day and age where the FOMO struggle is all the more powerful. We see these items on popular social media accounts and think, man, if only I had that item too. Guests don't like feeling left out, not even in the realm of popcorn buckets. And also, people have a passion for fandoms. To understand the popcorn bucket phenomenon, you only have to understand why people desperately want to get Taylor Swift concert tickets or a $1,000 sports ball jersey worn by their favorite player. Certain popcorn buckets appeal to collectors of various characters or rides or shows. Maybe you really loved riding Journey into Imagination with your dad at Epcot like I did. Maybe that's why you want the Figment popcorn bucket so much. Maybe Halloween was your grandma's favorite holiday and you always went to Disney World with your grandma and she passed away last year, and so getting a Halloween popcorn bucket is an affordable way to remember her. There are lots of reasons why people can want and desire something like a popcorn bucket. It's an affordable and obtainable collectible item for people to whom those particular characters or experiences mean something important. So even though I'm not a big collector for things like this, there are a few tips if you are, and you want to have a better chance of securing a new prized possession in your popcorn bucket inventory. Use early theme park entry to your advantage. Disney World Resort guests have the extra advantage of entering the parks 30 minutes before anyone else, meaning you can get in line for one of these limited edition items before rope drop even happens. Sign up for the DFB newsletter. We will let you know when a certain exclusive item drop is going to happen before it happens, so you can be ahead of the game. I'll drop our newsletter link in the description below in case you want to sign up. There's also the possibility that limited edition popcorn buckets can be available to you via mobile order, just like you would any old quick service meal. That's what happened with the brand new limited edition Mr. Toad popcorn bucket you could pick up over at Big Top Treats and Tomorrowland Terrace and a few other places. Something tells me that'll be something Disney does again in the future because it worked really well. So if you know where a collector popcorn bucket is going to be released, check the My Disney Experience app ASAP and see if it'll be available to purchase via mobile order so you can try skipping the forever long lines if possible. And checking the Shop Disney website just in case. Even if you're already in a super long line waiting for an exclusive item, now probably not a popcorn bucket, usually can't buy those at Shop Disney, but things like ears or maybe a Spirit jersey or something that you really want that you know is also sold on Shop Disney, then it never hurts to check that website just in case they dropped it on the website too. This isn't always going to be the case, but it does happen. We even saw certain Epcot 40th anniversary items drop on Shop Disney before they even got to the park. And there were items on the 40th anniversary that there was a 3-hour line to buy in the park, but you could just get them on Shop Disney. Now, I'm not one to point fingers or anything, but this next lineup of food, it is not a good time. In our list of Disney food that needs explaining, I'm just going to say Sunset Ranch Market in general. I have beef with Sunset Ranch Market in Disney's Hollywood Studios, and here's why. Sunset Ranch Market is like an outdoor food court along Sunset Boulevard, and you've got options like Anaheim Produce with its basic churros and pretzels and fruit, and margaritas, and Catalina Eddie's where puffy pizzas strike again, Rosie's All-American Cafe, aka typical American food like you get at a Sonic drive-thru but not as good, Fairfax Fare, that can meet your basic gourmet hot dog needs, and Hollywood Scoops, because it's hard to mess up ice cream. Now, ready for a hot take? This is probably my very least favorite location to get food in all of Disney World. And that is a big deal, I know, but hear me out. The food at each of these locations is basic and mediocre at best. Sure, you got a couple of hidden gems in the mix. You got the plant-based lobster roll at Rosie's, truffle bacon mac and cheese hot dog at Fairfax, and as mentioned, it's hard to go wrong with a scoop of ice cream, even if it just winds up being a single scoop of vanilla in a cup. But otherwise, you're paying the same amount for quick service food here that you would at another Disney quick service that's 10 times better, like Regal Eagle Smokehouse in Epcot, Satuli Canteen in Animal Kingdom, or Columbia Harbor House in Magic Kingdom. Even right there in Hollywood Studios, if you just go to Backlot Express, at least you get to eat indoors in the air conditioning and you don't have to sit outside. And the quick service food around Sunset Ranch Market that costs just as much as the rest of those places, it's not impressive. This area of quick service also takes up a lot of space. We're talking all the way down Sunset Boulevard is just stand after stand of mediocre offerings and outdoor seating. There's no indoor seating for any of them. Some tables might have a covered umbrella or a semi-covered area, but mostly you're going to be out in the sun trying to scarf down a chili cheese hot dog. So what's the deal here? Why does Disney allow this area of the park to still exist? Well, basically, the Sunset Ranch Market serves as a quick, cheap way to feed a lot of guests at once. Before Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge were a thing, Sunset Boulevard originally led up to where originally the two most popular rides in the park, Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror, lived. So a lot of folks rope dropped these bad boys, and by the time they were finished waiting in line and riding, it was lunchtime. So it was super convenient to exit that second ride of the day and be a few steps away from so many speedy food choices. And hey, that's still pretty much the case today. Even if you don't end up rope dropping Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror, people still eventually end up at Sunset Ranch Market. But let me tell you right now, there is better food in this park and there's better food everywhere else. So if you're looking for better quick service options while you're in Hollywood Studios, check out Backlot Express. They've got good stuff like Cuban sandwiches, teriyaki tofu bowls, and two of our favorite desserts, the Wookiee Cookie and the Glimmer and Shimmer Blondie, plus a bunch of indoor seating, again with air conditioning. Woody's Lunchbox is a quick window in Toy Story Land with sandwiches, tachos, and lunchbox tarts of various flavors. But remember, this is a completely outdoor spot as well, so it can get toasty and raidy. And ABC Commissary turned its life around with a fairly new menu of options, including tacos and sandwiches, including a really good buffalo chicken grilled cheese and Mediterranean salads. So even though it's boring in there, it's got better food. So I'm really sorry about Sunset Ranch Market. I haven't ranted about it here on the channel for a while, but it hasn't gotten better in the 15 years I've been doing this, and it's still just almost like a trick to have it right up there at the front of the park where it's the first thing people see, so that's where they eat. Just keep walking a little back further in the park and you're gonna get to better food, because literally everything is better. All right, now Sunset Ranch Market might be last season, but I got something more hip for you to check out now. Let's talk about Disney dessert trends, because a lot of these need some explaining. Disney dessert fads, they come and go, but our memory of them lasts forever. When you decide to snack around the parks, you'll notice that some desserts are more prevalent than others. For a while, we saw cupcakes everywhere. Then verrines came on the scene and took over. Do you even know what a verrine is? Probably not. I had to Google it. I was like, why is this called a verrine? Verrine basically just means glass, so it's just a dessert served in like a plastic cup. And now we're seeing tons of different mousse and dome cakes. There are Mickey Mouse dome cakes at Amorette's Patisserie, peanut butter Pluto dome cake at Gaston's Tavern, Devil's chocolate mousse cake at Friar's Nook, and a reindeer spiced cherry orange dark chocolate mousse, my goodness, for the season at ABC Commissary, blueberry cream cheese mousse at Satuli Canteen. It just goes on and on and on. You get the idea. When Disney hits a dessert trend, they hit it hard. Why? Well, to put it basically, when Disney figures out how to make a dessert efficiently and effectively, it becomes the norm everywhere. Everybody learns how to make it, everybody adds it to their menu, so they'll use that same execution for a year or so before moving on to something else trendy. But even when a Disney treat isn't trending anymore, we still see them pop up on the menus and bakery displays for multiple quick service locations, especially those cupcakes, because there's a lot of ways to switch up a cupcake to make it new and exciting, but I'm definitely not seeing as many as I did 10 years ago. All right, time to check out a different type of trend concerning Disney food, one that isn't going away anytime soon. Mobile ordering, to those of you who've been to Disney World a million times, is easy. But if you've never been to Disney World, or if you're going for like the second time in 5 years, then mobile ordering is different and has changed. It really took off after the 2020 closures, because you had to use mobile order for all of your quick service dining when the parks first reopened. And while you don't have to use it anymore, most people actually do, and I think Disney really encourages it. So if you're new to the mobile ordering game, or if you're just looking for some really solid mobile order tips that you feel like nobody's filled you in on yet, then you've come to the right place, because believe me, we're in the parks every single day and we're looking for ways to save money and time, even when we're mobile ordering. So tip 1, don't panic if your mobile order suddenly disappears. All right, this happened to me when I was in Epcot once, and I was like, where'd my mobile order go? And I couldn't find it, and I was super stressed out, and they were like, where's your mobile order? And I couldn't find it. So Learn from my mistakes. Once you've placed your mobile order, you should be able to see its status on the homepage of your My Disney Experience app. But if you don't see it or it magically disappears, that doesn't mean your order was forgotten or canceled. To retrace your order, go to that hamburger menu on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That's the button with 3 horizontal lines. They call it a hamburger menu. Then choose the mobile food orders. You should be able to see your purchase and status from there. And if you don't, then you want to reach out to a cast member at the front of the quick service location you're trying to order from to ask for extra assistance. By the by, something that I always do now, just because I'm like traumatized from this whole thing, is when I make a mobile order, I take a picture of the final processed order right after I pay for it. That way, if for some reason it disappears, I can show them the screenshot. Tip number 2, look at both the virtual menus and the physical menus. Just because you see an item listed on the mobile order menu doesn't mean it's going to be listed on the physical menu too, and vice versa. Usually the mobile order menu is the one that's going to be correct, surprisingly, because that's the one that they can actually change the easiest. So it's always worth checking out both menus before ordering to make sure you're getting what you really want. Again, this isn't usually the case, but we've seen it happen before. There have been times that they've put secret menu items on mobile order menus that they don't have in the physical restaurant. They don't have on the physical menu. So the mobile order is going to be the only place you see it. And of course, that's Disney incentivizing you to use mobile order, right? Right. Also, the saga with the citrus swirl over at Sunshine Tree Terrace, it's never on the physical menu, but sometimes it's on the mobile order menu, and they have it when it's on the mobile order menu. But if you just walk up to Sunshine Tree Terrace, you really will never see the citrus swirl on the menu anymore because they don't always have it every single day. So they have to keep the physical menu super basic, but they add the extra stuff onto the mobile order menu day to day. Tip number 3, mobile order early. Even though mobile order is a great way to cut down on your wait times for quick service food, that doesn't always mean it's going to go seamlessly. You see, mobile order works differently than your typical food delivery service. Instead of ordering food and getting an estimated time for when it's going to be delivered, you'll choose a return time window that you think will work best for you and your group. When that return window rolls around, you'll walk over to the quick service you placed your order for and let them know via the My Disney Experience app that you're there. And that's when the restaurant will start preparing your food. And you get to avoid standing in a forever long line. But here's the thing. Let's say you want to make a mobile order for a return time that's immediate. It's lunchtime, you're hungry now, you want food now. Depending on how busy it is when you decide to order food, you could find that all the mobile order return times for that exact moment have already been snatched up. And the soonest return time isn't until an hour later, or even later. That's why it's a good idea to place mobile orders early on in the day, like when you're standing in line for your first ride and need something to do to pass the time anyways. Go ahead and make a mobile order for when you think you're gonna want lunch. That way you've got that locked in. And you've got your pick of any and all return time. That being said, even if you do mobile order early, it's still a good idea to choose a return window that's not going to be smack dab in the middle of peak lunch or dinner time, so you're not still hit with that dining rush that could wind up delaying your mobile order regardless and leave you with like no place to sit, because that happens all the time. Instead, aim for return windows that'll set you up for a late lunch or early dinner when guests are more likely to be standing in line for rides rather than quick service food. And tip number 4, apply those annual pass and DVC discounts. Got a quick tip for you annual pass holders and DVC members. If you're ordering from certain quick service locations or candy and bakery shops like Caramel Kusha and Epcot and Big Top Treats in Magic Kingdom, you should be able to apply your annual pass holder discount to your mobile order instead of needing to wait in a physical line every single time. As long as you've got all your annual pass and DVC information linked to your account ahead of time, the discounts should automatically apply at participating locations. Just don't be fooled by the prices for each item that you'll see initially. When you go to place your mobile order, all the prices will still reflect what they normally look like for every guest. It won't be until you go to check out that you'll see the new discounted prices updated on your order. Now, has a food ever caught you so off guard all you wanted to know is what on earth Disney was thinking when they made it? Because we have that experience all the time. Okay, sorry, but this next one has to be discussed. Last time I checked, bread was not supposed to be jet black or moldy. Disney likes to have a little bit of fun with their snack design by adding color to an otherwise straightforward food that we've had 1,000 times over. For the 50th anniversary celebration, we were introduced to over 150 new eats and sweets. We ate them all. And of those 150, over 70% of them used blue food coloring. We saw blue icing, blue drinks, blue sprinkles, blue ice cream, so much blue. But in the midst of all that blue, we also saw some other interesting colors pop up. like the Spoon for One More at Columbia Harbor House in Magic Kingdom, which was made with a black sourdough bread bowl filled with New England clam chowder. And that's not the only time we've seen bread take on a weird hue. Remember that moldy looking bread I mentioned? It was actually supposed to look like a space snack before space snacks were cool. The Space Barbecue Sandwich made its grand appearance in honor of the former Awesome Mix live show that used to take place on Epcot's America Gardens theater stage. It was the Guardians of the Galaxy situation. Now this sandwich didn't taste bad, but it was really hard to eat. Well, it looked like that. Now, what other snacks have we seen dancing along the color spectrum? We've seen tie-dye cheesecake at Everything Pop, aka the Pop Century Food Court. We've tried the Hocus Pocus A Muck Cake Trio from Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. The Black as Midnight Mickey Waffles that were part of the Chocolate Mickey Waffles Sundae, available during past Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties. And we've had rainbow popcorn at multiple locations, both around the food kiosks and inside the gift shops too. In the end, weird food colors don't make these savory and sweet treats taste any different than they normally taste, but that doesn't mean Disney won't hike up their prices by a couple bucks for the sake of your aesthetic social media picture. If you do plan on ordering one of these colorful treats, just consider packing a toothbrush in your park bag for post-consumption purposes. Believe us. So there are Disney foods that need extra explaining because of their appearance, and then there are Disney foods that need extra explaining before you feel betrayed. So you more than likely already know that Disney World food prices change consistently based on demand and inflation, etc., etc. But what about those food prices that change literally between parks and resorts on the exact same day? For example, let's say I want to order a grilled chicken Caesar salad. If I order one at the End Zone Food Court in Disney's All-Star Sports, it's going to cost me $12.14. But if I order the exact same item from the Mara quick service at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, I'm going to pay $12.02 for it instead. Not necessarily an earth-shattering difference, but a difference nonetheless. And why is that? This isn't really Disney trying to mess with your mind and make you second-guess yourself. It's just the way the counties are laid out. You see, Disney World is so massive that it actually spreads out between two different counties, Orange County and Osceola County. Unfortunately, these two have different tourism tax rates. According to the Disney World website, most merchandise in the parks are Orange County purchases with a sales tax of 6.5%. Anything bought in Osceola County, however, incurs a 7.5% sales tax. The sneaky part of this whole ordeal is that food will be listed on the menu to be the same price as you'd find it in the other county. You won't see the cost difference until you're about to make your final purchase when the tax is added to your meal. And to be completely honest, you probably won't even notice it then, since tax is a fickle thing anyway, and you're probably not examining receipts that closely, like we are. For the most part, you won't be making too many purchases in Osceola County unless you're staying at one of the All-Star Value resorts, which just so happen to fall into that territory. And strangely enough, there are also sections of Disney's Animal Kingdom that linger in Osceola County, while other parts of the park remain in Orange County. A true case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome right there, which is why you might see slight tax discrepancies when you order a certain type of snack at the front of the park, like a Mickey pretzel or a Mickey premium bar, versus buying the exact same item toward the back of the park. So if you're able to buy the same snack or even merchandise item at a different location other than the All-Star area shops and food courts, you could save yourself a buck or two unless they adjust the pricing. We're going to talk ice cream next. Now, ice cream seems pretty straightforward, right? Why would it need explaining? Well, let's head over to Salt and Straw. Salt and Straw opened in Disney Springs this year, bringing with it a new variety of ice cream flavors that'll totally alter the way you think about ice cream from here on out. Now, if you're a Disneylander, Salt and Straw has been open a lot longer over there, and you're probably up to par on that. Some flavors are similar to what you'd expect from other traditional ice cream parlors, like sea salt with caramel ribbons, freckled mint chocolate chip, and double-filled vanilla. But others, well, others might make you do a double take. Like those Florida exclusive flavors, for instance, with options like the salty donut guava with cheese. But the really out there flavors are the seasonal one. Ever since Salt and Straw opened back in April, we've seen rotating flavors ranging from saffron and honey with crystallized flower petals in May, to cinnamon and honey fried chicken in June, goat cheese Marionberry habanero in July, and the Don Buguito's creepy crawly critters for October, which was made with matcha ice cream and coconut candied mealworms and chocolate covered cricket. Nope, not candy bugs, real freeze-dried bugs. But what makes these ice cream flavors even more bizarre is that they're not terrible. In fact, most of the time they're tasty. Still can't get over the bugs though. They're a little crunchy. So at the risk of sounding cliche, don't knock it till you try it. Or you can always head to our DFB website and see what we've got to say about these flavor combos first. We weren't too wild about the deviled egg ice cream, but their Thanksgiving flavors this year are awesome. All right, warning for the next one. This next item on our list has the potential to hurt your feelings. Are you ready to talk about restaurants where people are mean to you on purpose? Who's ready to get bullied in Disney World? Yeah, I didn't think anyone would actually be jumping off their couch going, "Ooh, I am." And yet, so many guests still pay certain Disney restaurants to relentlessly pick on them. Okay, some of my Disney veterans have probably caught on by now, but if you haven't, let me introduce you to two table service restaurants with a whole lot of attitude. Restaurant number 1, 50s Primetime Cafe in Disney's Hollywood Studios. 50s Primetime Cafe is in a 1950s style kitchen with black and white TVs, kitschy vintage decor, and clashing patterns everywhere. The dining room is supposed to give you that old family sitcom feeling where you're grabbing a table at mom's kitchen and getting ready to have dinner with the rest of the family. And no, I'm not just talking about the relatives already in your group. I'm talking about your aunts and your uncles, your cousins that you didn't even realize you had. These are actually your servers. Now, your servers treat you like family here, but that's not always great news for you. Because if you do something scandalous, like put your elbows on the table, refuse to finish your veggies, or talk with your mouth full, then you're gonna get called out. Big time. As in, the whole restaurant might end up knowing about your little misdemeanor, and you may be told to sing "I'm a Little Teapot" in front of everyone, hand motions and all. We've also seen guests sent to the corner of the room to think about what they've done, and we've seen leftover green beans be airplane fed to guests who had the audacity to not eat them the first time around. Isn't that right, Cassie? And if you still don't eat your green beans, they may be served to you with whipped cream as dessert. Now, all of this is done in good fun, but that doesn't mean it can't be off-putting if you're not wanting to participate in something so blatantly extroverted. I personally am not a huge fan of being bullied at this restaurant, so if you just want to come here for the fried chicken and PB&J milkshakes, then let the host know before you're seated so your server or your cousin can go easy on you. Now, restaurant number 2, Whispering Canyon Cafe at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Similar to 50s Primetime, you got a lot of zany servers here, ready to throw some sass and tease you a bit over at Whispering Canyon, but again, it's all in good fun. In the rustic dining room, you'll be served all you care to enjoy skillets for you and the group to share, all while witnessing the wayward antics of the cast members. Just be careful what you do and ask for here, because you just might be roped into the show. If you drop your fork, you might receive a new one that was way bigger than you bargained for. If you ask for a refill multiple times, you may not just get a glass, but a bucket's worth, or you might be asked to participate in a stick horse race, because why not? And of course, there's the ketchup. If you ask for ketchup, you may be surprised. Now, the antics here are fun and a little less humiliating than being airplane-fed green beans in front of a whole restaurant. Not to mention the skillet offerings are one of the more affordable all-you-care-to-enjoy meals on property, priced at around $38 per person. So if you're a glutton for punishment, or more so, you just want to share a few laughs with the fam during your meal, these may be a couple of restaurants you'll want to look into getting advanced dining reservations for before you go. Now, let's answer a food question you might not have asked out loud before, but maybe you asked in your brain a couple times, and we've now totally read your mind. What are the movie-inspired foods like? When you're watching a Disney film or TV show, do you ever stop and go, "Wow, I don't even know what just happened because I'm so hyper-fixated on the food they're eating and wondering what it's actually like"? Just us? Okay, cool. But at the off chance that you do relate to this, you'll be thrilled to know that Disney has made some of those well-known film and TV foods into realities within the parks. A few examples. You can try the gray stuff from Beauty and the Beast when you choose the chocolate tart during the prefix meal. Basically, it's a light cookies and cream whipped panna cotta, so if you like cookies and cream, you probably really will like the gray stuff without needing to ask the dishes. Also, that famous, infamous blue and green milk served during the Star Wars movie franchise is another one of those intergalactic snacks you can purchase in Batuu at the milk stand. Some like this and some don't. But overall, we think the blue milk is a little more fruity. Some people that like it say it tastes like Fruity Pebbles. And the green milk is a little more floral. If you don't like that, you're gonna say it tastes like perfume. Personally, I'd probably skip both of them and choose a drink over at Oga's Cantina instead, but you can spike the blue and green milks, which would be a nice alternative if you can't get a reservation at Oga's the date of your visit. And remember how in the Incredibles 2 film, Jack Jack could be won over by the mention of a delectable Num Num cookie? You can see what all the hype is about at Disney's Hollywood Studios by ordering one yourself at the Market and Pixar place right before you get to Toy Story Land. And let me just tell you, these cookies, yeah, I can see why Jack Jack was a fan. They are dense, easy to share, and super chocolatey. They're also made locally at a specialty French bakery in Orlando. And just so you know, you can get all of those in Disneyland as well. You can get the gray stuff over at the Village House restaurant in Disneyland. You can get the blue and green milk at the milk stand in Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. And the Num Num cookies, get them over by the Incredicoaster in Disney California Adventure. And that's not all the different Disney movie foods we've tried. You can get spaghetti and meatballs like Lady and the Tramp shared on their night of Bella Notte over at Tony's Town Square in Magic Kingdom, which I'm sure Lady and the Tramp appreciated the dish probably more than we do. In 2021, we were able to try Remy's Ratatouille at the Festival Favorites booth during Festival of the Arts. Again, I think Anton Ego was hyping it up a little too much in the film, but to each his own. And just this year during Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival, we got to try arepas from the Encanto-inspired booth La Isla Fresca, and oh my gosh, I can see why a taste of an arepa would make you feel better. Here's to hoping this cheesy goodness returns to the festival in 2023. Think the Disney company is a one-company show when it comes to their dining options? Think again. Not every restaurant on Disney World property is owned and operated by Disney World. Surprise, surprise. Several restaurants are actually a part of third-party corporations that partner alongside Disney to give guests more dining variety. Now, this can change your dining experience in Disney because if Disney's not in charge, that means quality can shift, ingredients can shift, and service can shift. So a lot of these third-party restaurants started showing up on the Disney scene when Downtown Disney transformed into Disney Springs back in 2015. One of the main goals of the newly expanded Disney Springs area was to give guests more shopping, more entertainment, and of course more dining opportunity. But in order to give them a vast selection of choices, Disney had to throw out their net and fish for some partners to give guests a lot of new options at once. And the number of restaurants continues to increase to this day. But Disney Springs isn't the only area in Disney World that uses third-party restaurants. You'll find third-party restaurants in Disney's Animal Kingdom with the Landry's-owned Yak and Yeti and Rainforest Cafe. In Epcot, you'll see loads of third-party restaurants all the way around World Showcase, as well as over at Space 220, which is actually owned by the Patina Restaurant Group, who also run all of the Italy Pavilion restaurants. Not to mention Disney World's coffee providers, Starbucks and Joffrey's are definitely not owned by Disney themselves. There are even some third-party restaurants featured in the Disney resorts, like Disney's Boardwalk Inn, for instance, which is home to third-party establishments like Jelly Rolls and the soon-to-be Cake Bake Shop opening next year. For the most part, the restaurants in the parks tend to partner so closely with Disney that it's hard to tell the two apart, but that's not the case with Disney Springs. Because so many of the Disney Springs restaurants are owned by another company, you have the opportunity to join said company's loyalty programs and memberships, as well as find extra savings from happy hour deals and social media promoted discounts too. Want to learn about all the different savings you can find through these third-party groups? We've got them fully listed and curated in our 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, which you can pre-order today on the dfbstore.com website. A pre-order now means we'll throw in the 2022 guide for free as an automatic download. But for now, I'll give you a sample of a few savings you'll be able to use for your upcoming trip. If you sign up for the CityWorks Eatery and Poorhouse Rewards program called Bottleneck Reward, you could get a free appetizer and additional perks like a $10 birthday gift. Stop by Frontera Cocina for Margarita Mondays and Tequila Tuesdays. Enjoy $5 classic margaritas every Monday and $5 shots of Tromba Blanco each Tuesday. At Sprinkles, for every dollar you spend, you get 5 points. 300 points equals a free item. Okay, one more for the road. If you join the Landry Select Club, you can earn rewards at locations like Yak and Yeti Restaurant. Yep, savings that actually happen inside a Disney park, as well as T-Rex and Rainforest Cafe. Next on our list of Disney food that needs explaining, secret menu items. Disney wants to sell food, right? So why are they keeping some of it a secret? Well, at select Disney World restaurants, there are certain items not directly featured on the menus that the restaurant will still be able to whip up. If that is, you've got the insider intel and how to ask for it. Here's the funny thing about secrets. They're rarely ever kept, especially in Disney World. And Disney really doesn't want you to keep those hidden menu items all to yourself when you learn about them. In fact, that's why Disney created secret items in the first place, to increase excitement and drive traffic to specific locations. It's that limited time only, nobody knows about this mindset all over again, because honestly, which option contains more bragging rights? Ordering a regular Gideon's chocolate chip cookie or ordering a Gideon's secret cake slice that you learned about by being on their Instagram page at just the right time, therefore earning yourself the right to try a dessert that only a few guests will ever get to taste. Discovering secret menu items can be a lot of fun, like an unspoken search and find for rare eats and drinks. Just keep in mind that secret menu items rotate out quickly, so even if you hear about a secret item one day, it's not exactly surprising if it winds up disappearing the next. We've got an entire video about all of the different places we've seen secret menu items pop up in the past and which ones are more consistently there. But just to give you a little taste of what we discuss, here are some of the highlights. Skipper Canteen in Magic Kingdom has previously graced us with off-menu items like the pork satay skewers, kungaloosh beer, and pão de queijo, which is Brazilian cheese bread that's similar to the one served at Epcot Food and Wine Festival. We've also previously discovered 4 secret boozy drinks at Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar in Disney Springs, including the chili-infused Lucky Lindy, boozy Mandarin vodka spiked Bully Mammoth, the Starry Night Mojito, and the watermelon vodka lemonade-based Oxygen Tank. Thirsty for more secrets? Again, check out our DFB Secrets video that I'll link above because we cover a lot, as in like 50 different secret menu items. It's time to get interactive. Does Disney actually want you to play with your food? Yeah, sometimes. Mostly. Disney's had waves of inspiration when it comes to immersive food because what better way to sell a meal than by making it interactive and memorable? For example, chocolate piñatas have been a thing during the 50th anniversary celebration. You can order the Chocolate Fiesta Pyramid at San Helen Restaurante in Epcot, which you are meant to whack open with your spoon to get to the fluffy chocolatey mousse on the inside. Or you can order the Chocolate Pignata at Frontera Cocina. That almost seems cruel to eat because it's just so cute and ball-shaped. Alas, the chocolate treat is accompanied with a mallet, which you'll then use to crack open the poor piggy and get to his insides that are made with cajeta mousse, tender cake infused with Abasolo whiskey and vanilla, and crumbles of candied orange and cookies. And over at the Ganachery, also in Disney Springs, you can order one of the seasonal chocolate piñatas that come in the shape of Mickey or Minnie Mouse and are not only adorned with festive candy ensembles, depending on the time of year you order them, but are also filled with even more candy and goodies that you'll have to break free with another mallet, because nothing says stress relief quite like smashing your expensive chocolate treat to smithereens. The 50th anniversary celebration kept that immersiveness going by offering a specialty non-alcoholic drink that flew off the shelves there for a while, called the Iridescent Sip-abration. This is still available, by the way, in most table service restaurants. This is basically a standard lemonade, but depending on where you ordered it, the drink came with a colorful, dissolvable character head of either Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, or Donald. When you drop the character head into the drink, presto changeo, the lemonade turned red or blue or brighter yellow or green. Again, it all depended on the character. And who remembers the Light Lab from the 2018 Food and Wine Festival? This place was epic. All the specialty items served here could glow in the dark, meaning the booth itself was also this indoor blacklit atmosphere for you to see the glow of your beverage right after it was poured. So cool. And recently, a really neat and unique interactive experience has returned to the Disney Springs area, and that is getting a chance to decorate your own cake. Remember those ever popular trending dome cakes I was talking about earlier? Instead of simply ordering one, you can make one under the instruction of the pastry chefs at Amorette's Patisserie. The entire experience is 90 minutes long and takes place in Amorette's show kitchen prior to the shop's opening. Not to mention it comes with drinks, including mimosas and bellinis for guests 21 and over. This experience costs $199 and covers 2 guests decorating 1 cake, so you may be able to split the price with a friend if this is something you're interested in trying. Next, we want to explain some things that might be missing from Disney World that you're not expecting. Disney World doesn't have an ounce of Pepsi product, Dr. Pepper Snapple Group product, or any other soda product brands besides Coca-Cola on property. So no Pepsi, no Dr. Pepper, no Mountain Dew, no Sierra Mist. It's all Coca-Cola all the time. You're not even going to find Dr. Pepper at the McDonald's on Disney property, which seems extreme, but you know, Disney takes their relationship with Coca-Cola very seriously. And if you have a problem with that, you're going to have to time travel and take it up with Walt Disney himself. Walt Disney and Coca-Cola have been partners ever since Disneyland opened in 1955, though, according to Disney, the company's relationship with Coca-Cola started in 1942 when Walt Disney first appeared on the Coca-Cola radio program, The Pause That Refreshes on the Air. A few years later, in 1950, Coca-Cola sponsored the Disney televised program 1 Hour in Wonderland. And when Disney World opened in 1971, the Coca-Cola branding followed the company to Orlando too. But that doesn't mean Pepsi didn't find a way into the parks at some point in time. When Disneyland first opened, PepsiCo was part of the sponsorship list. However, when Coca-Cola and Disney World renewed their agreement in 1990, there were a few updates to the script that made their relationship more exclusive. The agreement stated that Coke products would be the exclusive soft drinks at all Disney parks, and Coca-Cola could use Disney characters in joint advertisements and promotions. This agreement has been renewed on multiple occasions ever since. But wait, that's not the end of the Pepsi drama. I don't know why I'm so interested in this, but I'm really a huge soda pop fan. By the way, I call it pop where I'm from, and this is just fascinating to me. In 2014, PepsiCo came back on the scene. During this time, Disney signed an agreement with PepsiCo to make Pepsi the exclusive soft drink provider at Shanghai Disney Resort, which opened in 2015. So if you really want a Pepsi product in a Disney park, you're going to have to go to China to find it. The only place within the Disney bubble that we've been able to find other drink brands was over at the Fuel Grab-and-Go market inside the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Hotel, since the Swan and Dolphin are actually owned by Marriott Hotels, and Marriott does partner with different soda companies. So if you're desperate for a Dr. Pepper fix inside Disney, Swan and Dolphin may be your only hope. Otherwise, you'll need to make sure to pack some in your car before you hit the road, or you can order groceries from Walmart, Green Grocer, or you can order groceries from a grocery delivery app and have them delivered straight to your hotel. How's that for a loophole? Next, let's talk about these snacks that come and go. Cheshire Cattail, where are you? Oh, there you are. You never know when it's going to be there. Disney World food can be really elusive. 1 minute an item's on the menu waiting for us to order it, and the next it's gone without even saying goodbye. I picked on the Cheshire Cattail right away because that's still a rather fresh wound. The purple and pink chocolate-filled pastry can be found in the Cheshire Cafe in Magic Kingdom, but sometimes it's gone, and sometimes it's over at Cosmic Rays, and sometimes it's back at Cheshire Cafe. You just never know. It likes to tease us like that. Same with Citrus Swirl that we used to be able to get from Sunshine Tree Terrace. Like I said in the mobile order section, that's been messing with our heads and hearts ever since 2018. First, it tried to change the recipe and become an orange swirl, which didn't last very long. Then around July 2021, it completely disappeared. Initially, we were told that the machines were down and that the swirl should return at some point, and then we checked on it a few days later. We were told the product they used for it was on back order. But then the Citrus Swirl remained missing until March 2022 when, surprise, it popped up on mobile order like nothing had happened. And now it's back, but only on the mobile order menu, not on the regular menu like I said before. So it is just a true drama if you're a Disney food fan. But these two treats aren't the only snacks that like to appear and disappear and reappear. We've also seen this happen with the gingerbread salted caramel buttercream cookie sandwich at Caramel Kusha in Epcot, one of our favorite treats. The pepper jack cheese stuffed pretzel at numerous Disney World vacations. Sometimes you can find it, sometimes you can't. The Kakamora float, which used to be at Aloha Isle in Magic Kingdom. That was there for a good couple years and then all of a sudden it was gone, never to return. The list goes on. So why do these treats come and go flippantly? Well, different reasons. Sometimes it's all about shortages. Disney really is running low on supplies needed to make said snack, or the supplier is running behind and Disney needs to come up with another game plan in the meantime. This happened a lot after the closures, when so many companies were short-staffed, including Disney themselves, and ingredients people needed were stuck on boats. Sometimes Disney just wants to drive up the demand for a certain item again, so we get all excited and prioritize purchasing it upon its return, just in case it disappears again. Bria likes to compare this to the reason why she has so many Dunkaroos in her pantry right now, like more than any adult should. And other times, Disney's just looking to switch out an older snack for something new, something fresh and exciting, which maybe costs less to make or has more accessible ingredients. The important thing is this: it's always a good idea to have a backup snack in mind, just in case one of the Disney menus decides to up and change on you at the last minute. I'd say choose 4 or 5 strong alternatives just to be safe. Not sure you can come up with that many alternatives? We got you. Along with our 2023 DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, we've got our digital snack guides on the dfbstore.com website too. You can even purchase the snack guides and the new 2023 guide in a bundle for 40% off for a limited time. Those are super useful, so be sure to check them out. Is everything crystal clear now? Disney World is an ever-changing web of mysteries, and we promise that we'll continue to keep you in the loop and keep on explaining the seemingly inexplicable Disney food happenstance every single day on our YouTube, our social media, our website, our guidebooks, and in our newsletters. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.